My name's Megan. I'll be working with you today.
Hi, Megan.
I just want you to know that our agency has dealt with a wide variety of personal conflict and issues. I've worked with clients who have had substance abuse problems, divorces, personal conflicts in regards to their self esteem, mental health, and my biggest focus today is to get to know you and the reason you're here. I would like to be able to connect you into our agency and other agencies within the area so that we can meet and successfully complete all your goals.
Okay, awesome.
Before we get started, I just have to go through a little bit of confidentiality paperwork with you.
Okay.
I just want you to know that anything that we speak about within this room or between the two of us will stay with me. There are a few stipulations. If there is any signs of abuse, any neglect to a minor, if there's any concern or high risk of self to yourself or harm to yourself, harm to another individual or anybody within the community, or if the courts have any information that they'd like to be subpoenaed, I do have to give that information up.
Okay.
Other than that, it's all between us. At times, I may ask you to sign a contract that allows me to connect and release or get information from other medical professionals who have been working with you. You don't need to sign these. It's at your free will. But I would like you to know that if that does come up, it's often beneficial because I can then connect with them and get old information that has not come to me yet. I may be able to relook at old files or paperwork that will spark new types of ideas in regards to meeting goals. As well, it is often beneficial just to have everybody working on the same page.
Okay, yeah, that sounds fine.
Perfect. Why are you here today?
I'm here today because I've been having difficulties in my life. I'm noticing that, I having problems with keeping things on track. A lot of it I think is related to my drinking. So I'm kind of here just to get some help and counseling with my drinking issues.
So you believe your drinking's starting to affect everything. Does it affect you socially?
Yeah, it does to an extent. Like I actually more like have socially withdrawn, and I kind of just drink more at home by myself than anything. So I don't go out nearly as much because I just don't feel like interacting and having the chance of making a fool of myself or something like that.
How do you feel when you're at home and you're drinking on your own by yourself?
I guess I just, like generally I drink because I just get anxious, and then when I'm drinking, I'm feeling better because obviously the more and more I'm having, the more relaxed I am, kind of thinking less about everything else.
Is there other aspects in your life that you feel that the drinking's starting to negatively impact?
Financially, like I don't have the means that I used to. I'm struggling with like making the ends meet with bills. I have difficulty with my car payments.
Do you find that you are replacing other things in your life with drinking, such as having your groceries and preparing your meals, or certain types of events that you would have done prior to becoming a big drinker?
Well, I don't really eat. Like I only eat maybe like one meal a day, like when I'm at work or something. But then when I come home, I drink right when I come home, so I'm not hungry. I have no appetite, and then basically I'm not. I guess you could just say I don't have a very healthy diet.
How often are you drinking?
I drink every day.
Do you know roughly how much a day you're drinking, or does it vary?
It can vary, like, depending on, what goes on or what's bothering me. Like, on a minimum basis, I'd probably say, like, I'll have 4 beers. And then on, like, a bad day, I could have, like, up to 10.
Do you feel that there are specific factors that affect how much and when you start to drink?
Well, it's more so like if something goes on, like if I have something happen that's really stressful, I don't deal with it well. And a lot of times I do just turn to drinking. I also find like a lot of the times as well, if there's a bill that comes in and I can't make it, again, I get stressed and I'll just drink. even though I should be putting the money towards something other than the beer.
So what you're kind of saying is a lot of the factors that affect you negatively are kind of everyday stressors, whether it has to do financially, socially. It's things that would generally keep you on track in regards to maintaining your household and maintaining work and your social life.
Yeah, because I kind of, like I said, like, yeah, I don't really go out and do nearly as much as I used to. And it got really worse in the last year. I was in a really bad breakup, and I know it sounds like it's a terrible excuse, but then, like, you know, the breakup was financially struggling, stressful, and then I started using the drinking. And then ever since, like, that year, it's just, this past year has just continued to go downhill.
Well, that's understandable, but try not to use your factors and things that cause us as excuses. Everybody needs to figure out what type of coping skills work best for them and where they can give and take so that they can cope properly. So we can try and do some goal setting for you if you're trying to like minimize your drinking or if you're trying to abstain, and see what would be best for you in regards to working on those coping skills and getting things back on track. Woohoo! Okay. So, do you have any types of goals that you'd like to work on or that you have been considering?
Want to like figure out finances because I'm behind, so like something to help me at least keep at bay.
Finance is a great goal to be starting out at. Have you ever seen anything similar to a budget sheet?
Yeah, like I think I've heard of them before. I've never actually printed one off and looked at it though.
All right, we have them. There's other agencies within the community that we can connect you with who have actual housing workers and caseworkers that work specifically with budgeting if you need extra help. I can show you some of these sheets after or at the next session. So you get these sheets and it allows you to fill out what you have for the month, what you want allotted to spending for food and rent, any type of needs, and it will help you break things down in a visual view. Do you feel that that could maybe be beneficial to you to see everything out in like print as opposed to just trying to keep track of things in your head?
Yeah, probably, because if I can do it like on paper, it'll probably be easier for me. Where I find like I just try to like do it in my head, then I get lost or I get frustrated, and then I just leave it and walk away from it, and I'll pick it back up.
Alrighty, I can get you some of these sheets, and at our next session, we can sit down and I can explain them to you in detail. I can show you how to fill them out. If you want to bring some of your paperwork in, I can help you fill out your first one. And I don't mind to even help you fill them out as long as you're seeing me if you need the help to situate everything.
No, that sounds great.
In regards to your goals, have you considered, in regards to your drinking, if you are wanting to completely abstain or if you're just trying to decrease your drinking?
I wanted to just decrease my drinking, but like I feel like that'll be too difficult to stay on track.
Often when people drink, they do have difficulty with just decreased because sometimes they will decrease for a while, then they'll go back up, and it doesn't often stay leveled out. But there are plenty of people who try to abstain, and they are successful in it. They enjoy it. There's some difficulties in it in regards to how alcohol kind of ties into our society and people's lives, but it's not undoable. It's a doable goal, and I think it's an awesome goal to work towards if you'd like to.
Yeah, I think abstinence might just be better because I feel like if I try to just do like one beer every once in a while or a couple beers, I'm just going to end up, it's going to fall weight. I'll end up relapsing back to it, I think.
All right, and you know what? It's probably good that you know that about yourself. It's a good thing to be cautious of. Do you currently have any coping skills that have helped you in the past to eliminate some of the drinking?
Supports. I don't really have supports anymore since the breakup. Like I lost my boyfriend and then I withdrew from a lot of my friendships. I'm not really close with my family. Like I can talk to them sometimes, but they don't really understand. They just think I should be easier for me to just to get my life together.
That's unfortunate. There's sometimes people who have not struggled with these things, so they don't understand the difficulties that can arise around them. Are you wanting to reconnect with your family? Because there are groups within the community that can kind of help family members adjust and educate themselves in regards to addictions?
Well, yeah, if my parents were willing to go to like an addictions family count like group where they can learn about it, I would love it, because then maybe they'd actually respect like what I'm going through, and then we could kind of work on things and getting back to where we used to be.
For abstaining, there are many different types of counseling within this area. There's group or there's individual that kind of breaks down into different types of groups. How do you feel about a group orientation?
I would explore the option. I think like I would give it a go. I don't know personally. Like I kind of prefer like the one-on-one, because I can like get to know you, and I worry sometimes with those groups how secret their confidentiality really is. But like I definitely think like I've never been to one.
I know you mentioned a little bit of social anxiety. Is it specific situations that give you social anxiety, or is it just the whole realm of being in a social situation?
It's kind of just like sometimes being in the realm of it. Like when I don't know people, then I get uneasy. That's where the alcohol makes it easier for me, because it gives me that confidence, I find, where like when I don't have that, then I'm kind of just not very social. I don't really want to act out like or talk. I don't know. So
Do you believe that you would feel more comfortable with individual counseling for the time being then?
yeah, probably for right now, I guess, because I'm worried I don't want to like drink to go to a meeting.
That's understandable. I can see why you wouldn't want to do that. Um, would you feel comfortable coming and seeing me once a week?
Yeah, I think that would be helpful, especially just because like I don't have any other support.
Is there a specific type of support that you believe would be beneficial for you that I could possibly help you contact or find within the community?
Maybe if there was something where like I could meet like other people, like I know I just said like I wouldn't want to do a group something, but like maybe if there's something where like I could go on my terms when I'm ready, instead of like kind of maybe if it's even just doing something that's activity based, like I like sports and exercise, but like if so it's not, the focus isn't on what my problem is, I can kind of just go and be me opposed to having to open up that way.
Have you always enjoyed sports and physical activity?
Yeah, I find it kind of like at least levels me out, but I haven't done much of it this last year because I've just been drinking.
Do you feel that if you are doing something like sports and activity, as it is kind of counteractive to drinking, and it kind of focuses on the health aspect of a lifestyle, do you believe that maybe if you were to get into those things and maybe even group sports, so where you have teams, that could kind of become a coping skill for you, even though it's not focusing directly on the drinking, it's still giving you that initiative to get out and to go do things and to get out of the house where you're not participating in events that always coordinate around drinking or being around alcohol?
I think it could help because like I just maybe then like I wouldn't, you know what I mean? I feel like I wouldn't want it as much if I was happy and I felt better. But at the same time too, like I also worry that if like I can't, like with gym memberships and like stuff, sometimes things can be expensive, and right now like I obviously like the money just isn't there.
Would you like me to look into some of the things within the community in regards to memberships and if you're part of specific programs and see what there is running out there? Because we do have many facilities within the area, and a lot of them run different types of programs for people who are engaged or included into other agencies within the area.
Yeah, because that'd be awesome if I could like find a program or like something like a class that I could go do, and it's cheaper or anything would help.
I can look into that stuff. I know some of the gyms around here, the YMCA, and some of the smaller businesses do run classes that are geared towards individuals who are trying to create support systems, or they are trying to like work on changing kind of paths within their lives. So
That'd be perfect. Thank you.
So no problem. Today's July 20th, and I'll be seeing you once a week for the next little while. How do you feel about coming next Wednesday again? It's the 27th of July. Do you have anything going on?
No, that works perfectly for me.
Do you work good with the afternoons or the mornings?
Preferably the Afternoons, just because usually on Wednesdays I'll work the morning shift at the restaurant.
Alrighty, so how about if I book you in for 4 o'clock?
That would work out perfectly.
Perfect. Alright, so I just want to do a quick run through with you. So basically, as of right now, the goals you want to work on are your budgeting, trying to abstain, and you sound like you really want to get back into fitness and sports and back into a lifestyle that you used to have.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to accomplish specifically this week?
Lowering the amount of alcohol I intake.
All right. Do you have ideas how to do that, or do you want to?
Not really. Like, I don't really know what would be a good starting point.
All right. I have some suggestions for you that will kind of help you start. Do you have a calendar at home?
Yep.
Or even just a journal or a diary?
I have a calendar on the fridge.
If you kind of keep track of your drinking and maybe some of those factors that cause you to drink, that will give you a little bit of a clear idea of some of the targeting things that overwhelm you. As well, trying to eliminate some of the senses or the visuals or the actions that lead to drinking. So I'm not sure if you take a specific route home where you pass an LCBO or a bar that you normally stop at. Well, instead of taking that route, take another route so that you don't feel triggered into drinking. If keeping alcohol in your house is a triggering effect, maybe get rid of it, give it to someone else, or just dump it. If you feel that there are certain individuals that by hanging out with them, it kind of triggers your drinking, whether it's social or you feel peer pressured, changing those types of things also really do help how much you will drink and how you feel about beginning to drink.
Okay, that sounds like some good ideas. I think that will really help because I usually stop at the beer store after work. So maybe if I just drive a different way, I won't out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, and that's an awesome plan. Out of sight, out of mind really does help for many people, especially because there are plenty of triggering factors that can cause people to drink. So on your end, that's what you're going to do. And you can bring those papers back to me and we can review them and look over them if you'd like. As of next week, I'll have all those budgeting sheets. I don't know if you know kind of all your numbers out of your head. If not, if you want to maybe get some of your information together and bring it to me.
Yeah, I'll bring in like some of my bills and like my pay stubs so we can kind of like managing out what needs to come out when and maybe like that
Perfect.
kind of stuff.
That'd be awesome because then we can get a clear view and we can have it all written down in visuals. By next week, I'll also have all the information about the different gyms and activities within the area. I can get kind of numbers or whatever programs are free and stuff like that. Is there a certain area you like to stay within town?
No, it doesn't really matter. Like my vehicle helps me to kind of be able to go out, and I don't like if I'm doing that after work, I won't be drinking because I usually won't drink until I get home anyways.
All right, perfect. So I'll check all of the area and I'll see what's going on. Do you prefer individual sports or just regular team sports?
I would be open to both.
Oh, perfect. I'll look at everything possible. So next week I'll have all the paperwork for both of those things.
Okay.
Alrighty, so I will be seeing you next week at 4:30 on Wednesday the 27th.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Have a good afternoon.
You as well.
Bye.
See ya.